What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an x-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
Listen to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm excited, even though I'm having camera issues, but we'll make it do what it do. I'm excited. I was at Road Atlanta for the weekend to take in the MotoAmerica Round. It was good to catch up with some of the guys and some folks that we've had on the show and all that fun stuff. So it was a good time. It's a little different going to the racetrack and not racing, I gotta say, but we'll dive into all that. I want to thank all the folks that are liking and commenting and subscribing. Really appreciate it. It makes it easier for us to do what we do. Also, go to Woodcraft, go to our website and check out our cool fans, for lack of a better word, and check out Woodcraft and mention Rexy to get a discount at Woodcraft. Also, Pirelli tires. If you're interested in Pirelli tires to go racing, scan the QR code. Talk to my guy. Mention Rexy45 with the Be Forever Cool podcast. Get some race tires. We like what we're doing. Every purchase helps grow the show, which is what we're trying to do, and can't do it without you guys. So I definitely appreciate it. But now that we got all this public service announcements stuff out the way, let's get into it and see what these guys have been up to. And then, I wouldn't say any order, but let's go to TJ. TJ, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a good weekend of watching MotoAmerica, and I'm just waiting for the good weather to come, and we got our couple weeks out of the way where no racing, so we're back at it with MotoGP coming up, and we had World Superbike also this past weekend. So we're back at it with racing. I'm excited.
I gotta say, losing that Qatar round definitely, freed up some time for me to do stuff I don't want to do, like maybe change oil on generator and stuff like that. So it's nice to have racing back, so I can not necessarily sit back and do nothing, but at least enjoy the pastime. So yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see World Superbike as well. It was a crazy weekend just being at Road Atlanta and then also just trying to keep up what's going on in World Superbike. I see the Celtics are doing their thing. You excited for that?
of course, New England's always in the sports talk. So now, Patriots out of the way, we got the Celtics this go around, and we'll see what we can do. We're looking good.
Okay,
We're
that's
looking
right,
good.
right.
We're looking good.
Patriots did go to the Super Bowl. I mean, I tell you, Bean, what are you gonna do? Reese, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight, man? You're back home. One of the few times you've gotten home before me.
Exactly, man. Just exhausted right now from heat and pollen, I want to say, from being in Road Atlanta. But
Yeah, yeah.
all is good.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely say the heat on Saturday was wild. I think I got a little bit of heat stroke. I'm not gonna lie. And then just trying to cover as much of the track as possible. Need like a dust mask, man. I mean, I was eating dirt for a little bit too, man.
Yeah, it was bad, man. That pollen was killing me. I couldn't stop. Eyes were red, coughing, sneezing. I'm like, yeah, it's time to go
Right.
home.
Listen. I mean, it's a good way to end the weekend. You guys got the W on Sunday after having a crazy Saturday. So I mean, you can't ask for a better turnaround than that.
Nope. Great way to redeem ourselves and get it back on the podium and see if we can build off of that momentum.
All right. I'm pretty sure Lewis is gonna have a couple of questions for you and you guys on what
Oh
happened.
God.
So we gonna keep it moving. But Lewis, man, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're upright. Thought I might have to send you some chicken soup or something like that, man. How you doing, man?
Doing better, doing better. I know I've missed a couple of shows, been under the weather, traveling. It's just been a combination of everything possible to keep me off the show for the last couple of weeks. But I'm a trooper through this one, and because I was actually missing interacting with the fellas and having some of the banter that we have. So I really wanted to get on the show today.
Nice. Well, we got a lot to cover today, man. So it's gonna be crazy, man. It was good to see you face to face again, and you as well, Reese. I mean, we've been doing this show for a little bit, and now hopefully this year we'll see a lot more of each other in person versus on the screen only. Well, let's talk about MotoAmerica before we dive into World Superbike. It's officially the second round, but for you guys, the Superbike guys, it's really the first round. So it's kind of a weird kind of situation for you guys because you guys got to say second round, I suppose. But really, you guys didn't have like a DNF. So we'll start with Reese, man. Let's talk about the weekend. And from your perspective, it must be nice to be, back with the team, not just testing and now in the mix and stuff like that. So who was the first person to drop a wrench?
Probably me, but probably me. But no, it's nice to be back with the guys. It's nice to be back in colors. Not just testing. It's good to be back in front of the fans and not just just the crew. So it's kind of nice now and to put on a show and. We had our little ups, our little hiccups in the beginning, like any other people would. But race 2 came out, redeemed ourselves, and we put on a show.
Man, is it one of those things where you guys are like, what a relief, get it out the way. Hopefully, y'all are done with crashing for the rest of the season, or is it kind of like, man, already? Like, or is it just you guys are professionals and y'all it doesn't matter if you make the 3 or not, you don't change your facial expression.
I mean, hopefully we're done with crashing, but I mean that's part of racing. I know Richard always says, you rather whatever you got to do, don't crash in the race. Gain as many points as you possibly you can. That's the name of the game. Trying to gain as maximum as you can in most points. If you need to pick it back up and go. But crashing practice or warm ups or whatever, that's a little bit different than crashing in a race because then we want the most points we can. Because at the end of the day, you may come down to that last race and you may need that 2 points or 1 point.
Right. Yeah, no, can definitely see that. TJ, man, I mean, you and I, we're fans of the sport at the highest level here. What is it like for you to have MotoAmerica back and you got some more time to fill with watching races?
No, it's good to see Moto America back, and I like it because being a local rider, we have some riders that participate in Moto America, so huge supporter, and just how the season left off last year. Just very excited to see how the Superbike class will start. And as we all had our eyes on, the top runners like Bobier and uh, who we got,
Sean
Bobier and
Kelly,
Sean Dillon Kennedy,
Bobby Fong,
and Bobby Fong. Yeah, sorry, Jacob. But it was good to see like Schultz come out of nowhere and just just run the table basically the first race. It's just he set a huge pace. You know what I mean? So it was just just to see someone come from the superbike class, super sport class, and do that. And it was just an exciting weekend to see like how the season's gonna go. So it's
right,
just
right.
off to a good start, I say.
Yeah, I mean, depends on who you ask about that good start, because we're going to dive into that. PJ's crash moving up from, super sport to superbike. We talk about Schultz, who won, and another guy broke a finger and got concussed. Lewis, man, you were back in action this weekend and been traveling and all that. Do you take time out to sit on the hill, take your shoes off, get your fingers in the dirt and enjoy the race? What's happening?
Nah. I usually will watch the race from one of the TVs in the area, or I'll try to be in a corner somewhere and maybe watch the front straightaway. But I usually watch them on the TVs just so you can get a little bit better view of around the track versus just that one corner you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in somebody's paddock watching it, or I'm watching it on the big screen with the rest of the fans at the podium. That's kind of where I was for most of the day on Saturday. I was watching it at the big screen because I like to be around other people and that I don't know, and just kind of listen into conversations of what people say. Sometimes people will say really smart things, and sometimes people say really dumb things, and it's entertaining to listen to people that sometimes have ridden motorcycles on the track and kind of know a little bit. And then other times you can tell within the first 5 words that this person's never ridden a bike in their life to anywhere near its potential.
You did a lot of sneezing and mumbling under your breath.
Yeah. I keep the shades on and I just keep a big grin on my face the entire time as I listen to people. Sometimes it's pretty hilarious.
No, it is. I think, I don't know what it is. It's like, too much fresh air. It's not good for you all at once. You start daydreaming or hallucinating and start saying things that you can't do and stuff like that.
It just reminds me of that guy at the bar that starts talking about back in high school, his 4 touchdown game.
Exactly. Al Bundy.
His Al Bundy. It's like,
yeah, and the story gets better and better.
Yeah.
Let's talk about super sport before we talk about superbike, guys. Kayla, got first place on the grid, got pole position. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, she's the first female to get pole position in the modern era, at least overall at this level. Pretty impressive to see. I was a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I know she was finishing top 5 last year and stuff like that, but out the gate, I was a little surprised to see her get pole position. What are your thoughts, TJ, on Kayla getting pole position? What it does for the sport overall? Because she's of the mindset that she wants to race with the boys. She doesn't want to be put in any other box, but she wants to race with the boys.
Yeah, she's definitely proven herself for sure. Yeah, I'm very happy for her. I mean, you can see she's been putting in the work in the off season. I mean, she had a pretty solid year last year, and coming into this year, her mind has been set to win. And to start off the season like this, to get pole position, it's just you can just see she's up here to stay. And what she's doing for the sport, especially for the females, is pretty awesome because she's just showing that you can win. And like she's been battling with the boys since day one. And like I'm just even if she didn't get on you know she started first but didn't end so that bad, but she still was top 5. So she did very well. Very very happy for her. So see what happens next round.
No doubt, no doubt. What are your thoughts, Reese, on what Kayla did, the super sport class? And I think she even led a couple of laps as well. So pretty impressive. And I mean, as a rider, competitor, I mean, it's a good way to build on a season. You know what I'm saying? To get podium in Daytona, to get pole position, to finish top five. Pretty good. What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, I was pretty impressed. I mean, she did very well. I mean, there's a bunch of guys, people in her group that's very fast. You got Heron, you got Blake. There's a couple of guys in there that is sharks. And Bender, of course. They beat the actual, but for his defense, it is his first time on the track. But she did very well. And talking to Speeds, about her, talking to him over the weekend, she's been putting in a heck of a lot of work. She's been in Jennings. She's at every time you turn around, she's on the track. She's doing something with whether it's a bike or whether it's a mini bike. So she's getting her work in, and Ben says she's coming along very well. So I was very impressed to see that.
Nice. Yeah, likewise, man. I mean, like I said, for me, like I said, I was a little surprised this came this soon. But the super sport class is, I mean, everybody's gonna be in trouble if she's already doing this. What you thought, Lewis, on how she did, and we'll jump into the rest of the race weekend.
I mean, she did well. I think for considering this is what her third year now.
Third year, yeah.
Third year. I mean, this is the progression you want to see from somebody in their third year in the class, especially on a top team like Rahal. They've kind of set a pedigree for themselves where they do put out very, very competitive bikes. They have competitive teams. So this is the progression you want to see, and hopefully she can keep kind of moving it forward. I still think that there's a little bit of recency bias where people keep forgetting that Elena Myers did a lot of these things 15, 20 years ago. And because MotoAmerica is not owned by the same company that owned the racing back when Elena Myers was doing it, MotoAmerica kind of puts it in the back burner and kind of like, well, she's the first one in MotoAmerica to do this. And she's the first one. Well, MotoAmerica might be MotoAmerica, but U.S. motorcycle racing, AMA racing has been around longer than MotoAmerica. And they should still, I always say they should still kind of give a little bit of a tip of the hat to the people that came before, and not completely just, make them disappear or make them irrelevant or make their contributions irrelevant. I mean, it took a long time for a woman to get back to where Kayla is now, because after Elena Myers, for a long time, we had women come and go, but they really didn't do any kind of impact. And for me, Kayla's the first one making an impact since Elena. And there's a lot of racers that hate on Elena for whatever reason. I mean, if you go through the paddock, you can actually ask people, and some people just have this weird just dislike of her for whatever reason, but you can't discredit what she did at her time.
Right.
I mean, she rode a MotoGP bike. She won at Daytona on Super Sport. She beat guys. She raced Superbike. Like, she did a lot of stuff. So I hope Kayla can continue to grow in her progression and keep bringing it to the guys on a regular basis. And, again, make it just a racer against a racer. It has nothing to do with her being female, racing against guys. She's just another racer out there competing on the same level, on equal equipment, and having the same results. Like, I almost want to get to the point where it's kind of irrelevant of, yeah, she's a woman. It's kind of irrelevant when this is motorsports.
Right.
This isn't basketball, It's not Angel Reese, squaring up against LeBron James. This is that kind of, if you train hard, if you work hard, if you put in the time, if you got the right bike and you've got the right skill, everything else falls into place.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I get I hear what you're saying, and I get it. Like and I think it might be more the people that are asking the questions. So the folks in the media, I think it's not necessarily, I don't want to say low hanging fruit, but it's easier to say you're a woman competing in this sport, and just rather than just ask how she felt or what, or how did you put it together and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think, again, that's media doing that part of it, and we'll try our best not to be like that. But let's jump into race one on Saturday. I mean, it was a lot of action on Saturday. I mean, for me, it was crazy because I'm running around trying to learn the track and trying to miss people and stuff like that. But were you guys a little bit surprised that Darren was able to pull that one off and win that, or just kind of aside from Daytona and stuff like that? Because I mean, obviously, race 2 was different. We start with TJ.
Well, I mean, he's on the Ducati. I mean, I knew Darren Brennan was going to be a front runner, and that draft is pretty serious at that track. But I mean, I didn't expect him to get that much of a gap and take off like he did. But he had a hell of a race. I mean, Blake Davis, Tyler Scott, I mean, Kayla, they were all hanging in the first couple laps. But you know, I'm sure it was really hot there, and that had a little bit to do with it. But yeah, he rode a hell of a race and never looked back really after that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Reese, I mean, were you surprised by how scrappy he was? Benda, he was a little scrappy. Were you surprised at all?
Nope, not at all. I mean, I expected him to come in and do that. I expected him to be scrappy. I expected him to. I almost expected him to dive bomb a couple people. You know, and surprise.
Days.
Exactly. I was expecting that, but I didn't see it. So, but no, I expected him to be right there. You know, and do what he did. But I mean, he was very good. And he actually picked the track up faster than I thought he would be. So.
Yeah, yeah, it's impressive how you know, the folks at that level can learn the track faster, and we see, you know, some folks that come in that are also racing in different classes, and it's the first time at the track, and we see the struggles that they have. Lewis, what are your thoughts on Bender? You know, is it? I mean, it's not the same as Petrucci coming over as some of these other guys, where in the sense that, you know, he's not on a superbike, he's on a super sport. Can he run away with the title? I mean, you know, in Moto 2 and MotoGP, he did struggle, so it wasn't clear that he would be a front runner coming out here. And again, you know, we'll jump into race 2 because you know, it seems like Herron's like, you know, not on my watch on the Sunday race.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that he's going to pick up any track fast. I mean, if you're fast anywhere you go. I always said that really fast guys within one and a half, maybe 2 sessions should be at the pace of the guys at the front. If you're truly fast knows how to go fast. Fast figures it out. You sit down, you get the track layout. You already go out there with a lot of data. You already know what gear you need to be in when you go into what corner. So now you're really just working on your brake markers and understanding how the brake markers line up with the track and finding your markers on the track so you know exactly where you're shifting. But you already know before you even get on the bike at this level, turn 1, I'm supposed to be in this gear. Turn 3, I'm supposed to be in this gear. Turn 5, I'm supposed to be in this gear. Turn 7, I'm supposed to be in this gear. Like, you already know that part. And that's where a lot of people struggle, because when you go to a track as a track day person, you're kind of going out there figuring out this all stuff. But at this level, these guys already have a notebook and they're told, hey, for this bike, this is the gearing that we're using. These are the sprocket setups that we have. And by using the sprocket setup, more or less, these are the gearing where you should be in the gears throughout the track based on the data that we have. Now, you go out there, if you can do something slightly different, if you can carry a gear a little longer, if you can go to full throttle a little faster, then some things might change. But more or less, this is where you need to be. So I didn't think he was going to have any problem getting up to speed. He knows how to go fast. I still say that class is still Josh Herron's to lose, and I won't change that tune until something drastic happens, because I mean, this is a guy that's won that class multiple times. This is a multi-time Superbike champion who's kind of been relegated back to super sport, and it's not like he wants to stay in super sport. So for him, I think even though he might not put pressure on himself, the only person with pressure to win in that class is Josh Herron. Nobody else there is expected to beat him. So if he doesn't come away with the championship this year, anything less than the championship for him is a loss. Whereas everybody else, second or third place is great. If Kayla ends up second place at the end of the year, nobody expected her to be there.
Okay.
So, there's no pressure on her. There's no pressure on anybody else. The guy to beat in that class is Josh Herrin until something else happens. And I think Darren Bender, if anything, will keep Josh Herrin a little honest this year, where he won't walk away. But there's going to be tracks where you're going to see that Josh Herrin has a lot of time on these tracks. He understands these tracks better than anybody else. And he might win a couple of races in that class by like 8, 9, or 10 seconds, to be honest with you. Like he might actually walk away from the field at a couple of tracks where he's just known to be really fast.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see, guys. Let's see. TJ, you heard all what Lewis just said. You think is Herrens to lose? I mean, we hear how strong Kayla worked in this offseason and stuff like that. So she's probably saying, "Hey, this might be mine to win." So, what are your thoughts, man? Is it his to lose? And I'll say this too, because like he lost the seat. And he's kind of being demoted too, right? Because he's going back to super sport, and that's a different mentality you have to deal with mentally versus somebody who's on the progression of moving upward. Not, now you're sitting here trying to, not want to say have a second coming, but like, you're trying to hopefully get back to Superbike. I assume Josh wants to get back to Superbike.
Yeah, I mean, with his resume, for sure. Like any series he goes out in, he's pretty much expected for himself, I would say, to try to win. Because basically he's got a lot of championships under his belt. It sucks that the way the season played out, he basically got demoted and had to find a ride, and he's now in super sport. And with his class of riding, it just goes to tell like, yeah, you're supposed to win. I don't know if he's thinking that way, but I think that if he's now in super sport, it's more of dependent his titles that he has, where he can't just go there to lose. So I think it is his season to lose basically because his resume. Like he's trying to get back to Superbike, so he's definitely going to have to show that he can go down a class and still win and get back to where he's supposed to be. But the contracts work. So.
Yeah. I mean, Reese, what are your thoughts on? Is it Herrens to lose, and is it safe to assume Herren should have the same mindset as Schultz? I don't know if the reasoning why they got back to the super sport class and have to, not to say redeem themselves, but earn another spot in World Superbike, in Superbike class at MotoAmerica. Is this championship Herrens to lose?
It definitely is. It definitely is his to lose. I mean, he's had the most wins. He's the most consistent. So it is his to lose. I mean, look how many Daytona championships the guy has. And he, like Lewis said, he knows these tracks better than anyone, especially like Atlanta, Laguna is around, and then he can stretch the legs out in the Ducati right in Road America and Barber. He's gonna do very well. So this is his championship to lose. It's not, you've been kind of demoted and like go back and redeem yourself, improve yourself. But it there's a lot of things when you go down to redeem yourself into another class. It's not only can you still ride, it's also attitude and a humbleness. Once you can put all three of those together, it's, hey, let's go ride.
Okay. All right. No doubt. Let's talk about the rest. Well, not the rest, but let's talk about the top four, right? Because Kayla, Ty Scott, Ty Scott, he's done well at Loudon, and this guy, he fights and fights and fights. I don't say he has the same bad luck that Oliveira has, but he's definitely I'm pretty sure he feels like he should have more wins under his belt than he currently has. So we got Kayla, we got Tyler, we got Josh, we got Darren. I gotta say, these might be the four riders that are going to be out front this year to win it. Is there anyone else that you got that you see at the moment that can come in there? I know Blake should be there, but the way these other riders have had these first two rounds, they're kind of setting themselves above everyone else. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I'm just looking down the list and looking at the times that they've been pulling out, and I just see that's the top five for me. You just kind of nailed it. I would love to see someone else try to step up a little bit, but yeah, Josh, Taylor, Blake, Tyler, and Darren. Feel like that's going to be the top five that's going to be fighting for the championship this year. And I think it's going to be a heck of a battle because they're all right there,
Right.
like within tenths from each other. I know Josh has the most experience, but you got Darren Bender coming from the other side, and he ain't afraid either. So, and
Right.
especially how we talked about how he learned this track very fast. So,
Yeah.
we've seen other GP riders come in like Petrucci and Lawrence Baz and a couple other guys where they had no trouble either. So,
Right. No doubt. What are your thoughts, Reese, man? I mean, are these the four contenders for the championship? I know I didn't mention Josh Hayes, and there's some other riders that, DeMarco and these guys. I mean, that they could, but it seems like right now these are the top 4 or 5 guys.
I mean, I think they are the top 4 or 5 guys. I mean, you still got the old dog in there, Josh Hayes. I mean, he's still. I mean, race 1, he looked very, very strong. He looked very competitive. I don't know what happened in race 2. Maybe that they messed up on the setup because the temperature dropped really bad. It was really cool. But he looked very strong. I mean, like you said, you still got Blake. Blake looked strong race 1 and then kind of fell a little behind on race 2. But then we're going to another round. We're going to Barber, where it's going to be definitely a whole lot warmer. So those are the top guys up there. But there are also some other guys in that class that is probably going to surprise a bunch of people.
Okay. All right. No doubt. No doubt. Lewis, man, I know you got a lot to say. We got these 4 riders that we feel that, well, I'm saying that, can run away with it. I'm sure you're going to add a few more that we haven't noticed. And maybe why one of the ones we mentioned shouldn't be there.
I mean, right off the bat, just looking at it real quick, the first one that I would say is, Ducati definitely is kind of already putting their stamp that they have the best bike in the grid right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Yamaha had to do the conversion back to its stock swing arm, so they're racing it with a stock swing arm that's a little bit shorter. I guess they are figuring some stuff out because we do have some Yamahas towards the front, but it's not like it was last year. Like last year, it was the Matthew Schultz and Blake Davis show with only one Ducati, and now it's a bunch of Ducatis. And I think there's going to be more Ducatis inching their way up into this top 5, top 6 before more Yamahas inch their way up into this top 10. Let's put it that way.
Right. He was like a Jamaican Canadian that jumped out the gate against Lewis back in the day in the Olympics.
Yeah. I like Tyler Scott. I'm a Suzuki guy, you can see, but until he shaves that thing off his upper lip, I could never root for him because that thing just looks horrible. I don't know what it is. It's been growing there or trying to grow for a couple of years. He just needs to let it go, man. It's not happening, bro.
When I see him, he reminds me of was it Alvaro Bottas or whatever his first name is. In Formula One, right? They used to ride for Mercedes, race for Mercedes.
Sometimes you got to just understand that nature didn't give you the ability to grow a mustache and just live with it, man, because that thing just looks worse every year.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so harsh, man. It's so harsh.
Yeah. Blake Davis, I hope he does well, but again, I think the Yamaha is going to struggle this year, and I don't think he's going to be at the front where he wants to be, just because the Ducatis are strong, and you got a lot of strong riders this year. Last year was really the PJ and Matthew show, and he was there. Tyler had a couple of flashes of brilliance, but not anything sustained. So even getting into the top 5 and finishing the top 5 this year is probably going to be very, very hard for Blake. And it's going to be a tough pill for him to swallow at the end of the year. And if there's anyone missing, and I've talked to him quite a bit this past weekend, is Alessandro Di Mario, man. I mean, he's still a rookie in this class, but I would not underestimate what this kid can do on the bike, man. Once he kind of gets some things sorted. He had a mechanical issue. He had one crash, which was a setup issue that he had. They went the wrong way with the setup, and he didn't have the right feel, and that's why he crashed in turn 1. And in the second race, he just had a horrible start. He just, let the clutch go at the start, and the bike just stalled on him almost. It just sputtered. Nothing happened. And he kind of just got relegated a little bit further back than he wanted. He had to battle through some guys to kind of finish where he finished. But again, these are growing pains for a rookie. But, talent-wise, this kid's going to put it together, man. And he's going to surprise some people. And there's going to be some races where he's going to be right at the front battling. And as long as he keeps his level head and races the way he races, I mean, I really think he will end up in the top 7 at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of good names in the field right now, and I'm looking forward to see as the season progresses where they end up, because it's pretty crazy. Let's talk about World Superbike, man. We'll put you on a hot seat, Reese. Reese, what happened in race 1, man? Yeah. What happened was,
I was gonna say what happened was I saw the back of my eyelids. I didn't even get a chance to see it, honestly.
well, neither did I, so that's the crazy part.
I saw the back of my eyelids. I'm not even gonna lie to you on that one. Being up at 6 and 5 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't even paying attention to World Superbike. I was paying attention to my eyelids.
We're talking about Superbike MotoAmerica. Yeah,
Superbike.
You said World Superbike. Okay,
my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself.
What happened in race 1? I mean, Bobby tucked the front. That was it. I mean, it looked like he tucked the front, and you had marshals jumping in and telling the guy not to kind of get away from the bike, and he wanted to pick up the bike and keep running. And then all of a sudden, you had a red flag. Somebody ended up crashing, and they had a red flag to the race. So he went back to restart it and got it restarted. So he brought it in. We was trying to repair it. But because, rules say if you kind of abandon the bike, you don't actively trying to get it started, and there's a red flag, you can't restart. So that was the deal. But how can you restart if the marshals are in your way telling you to go away?
Got you. And so do you guys think is that a more clarification needs to come from race direction?
I don't think it needs to be more clarification. I think it needs to be for race direction. I think it needs to be better training for the marshals. If you actually see a rider trying to restart, because those marshals don't know. They don't know pretty much the logistics or mechanical things of the bike. Can he get it restarted? Is it on fire, or is it working? Is it rideable? They have no idea. They just see a bike down. Oh, well, he can't get it restarted. They're just hearing the bike trying to restart, and they're like, oh, it won't restart, but not knowing that the pump needs to be reset. There's a couple of things, that needs to go on trying to get that bike started. It'll start. Just sometimes it takes a little second. But I think there needs to be better training for them to let the riders, at least if you see them going back to the bike, let them try to get it started, because that could be detrimental in the long run.
No doubt. TJ, man, did you get to see race 1?
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts, man? What you got?
It is, well, if we want to talk about that situation, it was a crazy start of a race, first of all, with a couple crashes, and then the bike crashing in the middle of the track that caused a red flag. You had Bobier starting from the way back, so it's a couple of things there. But to see Bobby tuck the front, it wasn't a good look to see that. I want to see him finish. But when they brought up that rule, like, they literally saw like the first thing he did was pick up his bike. And when the crash happens like that, like, there's like a certain window of time that you really have to get out of the way for safety and stuff like that. So, like, I felt like the marshals kind of pushed him out of the way because maybe it took too long, but like, he tried. And right as that happened, the red flag hit. So I felt like he should still have an opportunity to restart. But I don't think he abandoned his bike at all. It was more of like he was listening to the marshals, like, following the rules of the situation. But I don't think he should have been penalized for that. But it was a good win for Schultz, and just to see his pace in the first race, I was just wondering who could keep up with that pace. So race 2 is much different, and it was good on that end. So
okay.
I'll say this real quick, TJ. Bobby was keeping that pace.
Oh, he was. Oh yeah, well, yeah, I guess, yeah. It happened so fast. So it was the first. It was like two laps in or something like that. Yeah, so two or
Yeah, I
three
mean, he
laps
had a
in.
good. Schultz had a hell of a start. Like, he had a hell of a start, but Bobby did track that pace down. So I'll give him that.
Okay. Lewis, man, I see you got Polo Spargro's Suzuki suit behind you there. You
This
guys
is don't insult this suit by saying Polish Sparrow, bro. This is not one of the asparagus brothers. This is world MotoGP champion Johan Mir.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm a fan of Mir. What are your thoughts, man, on Superbike, MotoAmerica? Let me get the world out of there. On Bobby.
I got a question on what's actively competing. Do you have to actively be competing in your sport, or can you just be like punching marshals in the face and say, hey, I'm actively competing in the UFC until there's a red flag and then I can pick my bike up? Because I think this is MotoAmerica breakdown. When MotoAmerica goes to different tracks, they look for volunteers to work as corner marshals. They're trained for a minimal amount of time, and then they go out there and they have to do the best they have with the training they have. If a rider is trying to pick up their bike, are they being told to help the rider, or are they being told to pull the rider off the track? Because obviously they're in an impact zone, because if they crash there, somebody else can crash there. So there's two different things going on right now. But if a rider is trying to pick up their bike to get back up and running, I'm not saying the marshal needs to go out there and help them, but the marshal should not go out there and hinder them either, because he's actively trying to compete. And we had this, we had a similar situation happen a couple of years ago at Barber. But that was completely different. The rider was there screaming and yelling at the bike instead of actually trying to pick up the bike. So yeah, he wasn't actively competing. But this wasn't the situation. This rider was actually trying to pick up the bike, was getting pulled away from the marshals. Another bike goes down, so he does get the bike up and running. And now he's told, well, you weren't actively competing when the bike crashed, so now you can't restart. Like, it's like, you need to train your corner workers better.
Right.
Or there needs to be a little bit more clarification in the rule. It can't just be because you were pulled away from the bike or you weren't actively lifting the bike that you're not actively competing. You could be getting up from the dirt. Let's say Bobby slid and he's laying in the dirt and he's getting up. Just as he's getting up, somebody crashes and red flags. You're not actively competing because you're laying in the dirt. I have to lay in the dirt before I get up. I just crashed. Like fix this rule. This rule is stupid. It doesn't have enough clarification, and it doesn't have enough gray area to let riders actually compete and give them time to show they're competing. Right. If I crash and I slide 20 feet away from my bike and I get up and I'm coming back to my bike, the other bike red flags when I'm 10 feet away from my bike. I'm not actively competing. Why? Because I didn't sprint 20 feet to pick up the bike. Right. Like, this is some bullshit, man. Let's call it what it is. This is some MotoAmerica, once again, gray area bullshit that they don't want to define, because if they define it, they'll be locked into this and they'll have to live with this rule. Whereas if they leave it gray, one person can be actively not competing, and one person can. And hey, since there's not clear definition in the rule, who are you to argue with us?
Right.
So we'll just make this shit up as we go.
Do corner workers need like play cards like quarterbacks have, and they just yell out plays from the tower, and they can look at the card and see what to do? Is it time to implement tech where tech just tells them to the corner worker what's to do, and they don't have to think?
Well, corner workers have speakers and headphones. That's how they're able to kind of, hey, we got a man down a turn, whatever. We got a person down a turn, whatever. We've got fluid down. We've got, this is how they're able to communicate. So is it race control doesn't have enough visual means to see every corner of the track, and they just kind of go by what they see on the screen when the screen kind of goes to that corner? And there's a delay sometimes, even at the track, when you move a camera from one place to another. So there might be a 10, 15 second delay. And all of a sudden it looks like the guy's not competing, but actually live in that corner right then, the guy's trying to pick up the bike. Mm-hmm. Like there's just either have to train people better, or they have to have a dedicated amount of corner workers that go to every event. They can't rely on volunteers at every single event, because then that brings in another thing. Let's say we go to Mugello and every corner worker is a volunteer at Mugello, and Marquez crashes. How many other motherfuckers are going to come help Marquez at Mugello?
All of them. Stop it. All of them. All of them.
Yeah, they're going to help him. They're going to light the bike on fire. You know, this is what I mean. Like, you're a professional sports league. You don't go from town to town hiring temporary referees. You have to have a certain amount of referees that go to every event and are stationed in every corner. And you can station one full-time corner worker with 4 or 5 volunteers, because then you at least have somebody that's well-trained and can use the tools that they have there.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. You want to be a pro league? Act like a pro league. You got to invest some money. You can't be doing mistakes like this. It looks really bad, man. Like that's the worst way I could do it. And not just because it's Bobby. Had it been anybody else, I'd still be on the same rant. Like this doesn't look professional.
Well, and it causes at the end of the season, if you lose by X amount of points below the DNF, now all of a sudden it's just like it could have been a different story, especially with the red flag after too. Yeah, back out there. You have a valid point for sure.
If Bobby loses by 10 points at the end of the season, right there is where he lost the championship.
Yeah.
Technically, you could say right there is where he lost the championship.
Or at least train the corner workers. Like instead of just bringing them in for a couple of days before, during the race weekend, say, hey, this is what we're gonna do on Thursday when we roll in. This is how you do it. No, bring him in on on a Monday. And
how many corner worker stations are at Road Atlanta? Is it 13? 10 or 13 corner worker stations?
I don't remember.
Let's say there's 13. You telling me you can't have 13 full-time people on staff that go to every single event and cover 13 corners? Because every track is going to have more or less the same amount of corner worker stations.
Come on, man. They gotta do a certain amount of hours at club racing level before they can get it.
Hey, maybe that's what they got to do. Maybe they get trained by MotoAmerica. They get flown out to all the races. There's people that get flown out to all the races by MotoAmerica now that do other jobs that are not as consequential to the finished product. They're not as consequential to the race, but they're staff members. They get paid. They get flown out every weekend to do these events. And then after the weekend, they get a check cut and we'll see you in a month at the next event. And that's it.
At the next event. That's it.
Yeah. So if this is going to cost, let's say, you got 10 guys, 3 weekends. Let's say this ends up costing $25,000 per weekend, but you can eliminate the amount of mistakes. You could possibly eliminate the amount of injuries or eliminate the amounts of problems on the track. You have people at every corner that are a little bit more well-trained in medical response. All of this adds up. I think, investing $250,000 throughout the entire year to make a better product and to keep your riders safe is probably worth it.
Right. I agree.
I still think that the decision could have been better as well, besides the corner workers, because I feel like he was still actively participating in the race. Like he was still kind of on track when the red flag took place, I believe. It's not like he crashed 5 laps or 4 and then he's already sitting in the paddock and then a red flag appeared. So I feel like
go ahead.
I feel like he should have still it should have been a no-brainer, especially the effort that he put in to try to pick up his own bike. So I felt like he got screwed.
No, I agree. There's winners and losers when it comes to crashing and red flags. I mean, we see the MotoGP as well with timing and stuff like that, and their reaction. So it's crazy.
I mean, he rode the bike in, so he did ride it in.
Yeah. So it's
well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We'll see what happens at the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Speaking of the end
of the race too.
At the end of the year, guys, which manufacturers, and as much as you can say, Reese, I know you're going to say Yamaha, but which one walked away this weekend with the wins, the losses, that we did all right? Because we see 2 Yamahas win. BMW was on the podium. Ducati was on the podium. What are your thoughts, TJ? Which manufacturer walked away with the win? Obviously Yamaha got the win, but
I gotta say BMW. for me, that's like Sean Dillon Kelly really proved that he's a really good rider and like getting on that bike and putting it on the podium. I just felt like it's a good start for them. So it's definitely a big win.
Okay.
That's what I'll say BMW.
I like that. I like that. I mean, listen, I mean, you guys are the only ones that's not struggling. MotoGP, World Superbike, the Yamaha is struggling. You guys right here, you know, you got back-to-back wins. I know you would have preferred to have the Attack Yamaha get both. Can you answer the question subjectively?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer subjectively. I still say Yamaha. I mean, it's not even just, you know, because I'm there. It's literally, if you look at race one, you had Schultz. Um, then you had Bobby sitting in second for a while until he crashed out. But then come race two, you had two Yamahas on the box. So, and overall, you know, it's got to be a Yamaha.
And one broke and limped across the line, right?
Not Bobby. Matt limped across, and then you had JD back and forth. So.
Yeah.
So I mean, both your guys are in top five. All three guys are in top five. When a lot of fans were counting us out, like, oh, the Ducati and BMW are going to run it, but I'm like, hey, don't poke a sleeping bear.
Okay, all right. Listen, they hibernate though. Wait, when they hibernate.
Don't poke a sleeping bear, man. Leave them alone.
What are your thoughts, Lewis, man? I mean, is it BMW that they kind of did all right? Is it Yamaha all the way? Ducati should have done better when you look at what was happening in World Superbike.
I think everything kind of fell right into place where it should be. You know, I think Yamaha, you know, is the veteran champion bike of the series for how many years now? You know, it's always been a competitive bike. Even when it's not competitive, it's still competitive. It still pulls out some tenths every year that weren't there the year before. A lot of people I know were big on Ducati coming in this year and dominating, but this being a different Ducati than last year, and most of the teams didn't get their bikes till very, very late to even test. So like the Rahal team, I think they only got their bike like 2-3 weeks ago. So they've barely been able to test on his bike. So they have almost no data. And all the data they have is based on what they've done in Europe, and all the testing that they've done in Europe is based on Pirelli tires. So when you get that data here, now you have to kind of convert that data into how to make this work with Dunlop tires, which aren't the same beast. You know, they're just not. No matter what anybody thinks, they're not the same beast. They work differently. And you kind of see it, you know, there's struggles with Cameron Beaubier. You could see where he has speed, but he has some issues coming out of corners. It seems like coming out of corners, that bike wants to go left, right, straight. And it's because it's for some reason, it can't put the power down because that rear tire is just not gripping up.
Is that after you watched PJ's crash?
No, that was, he went right, left, crash. So he was different. It wasn't the same.
No, he went right, left, then over the bar, then splat.
I feel bad for PJ, man. That was a hard crash because I mean, when you go face first like that those are the ones that suck, man. Because you wake up just looking at the dirt through your helmet.
And what's bad is
got there.
I put the two videos together. He looked like, if you go back, you know, back in the day, he looked, the way he crashed and laid face first into the ground, looking like a Simoncelli. He looked exactly like him. I was like,
that was God, first, man.
I was like, God, I feel bad for him.
But you know, so the Ducatis are going to have a little bit of a teething pain until they can kind of sort it out, and maybe they'll sort it out by like the third round or the fourth round. I mean, they have speed. There's one thing that Ducati does not miss. I'm surprised that you know, BMW had two guys in the top 5 or 6 the first race, and then 2 guys in the top 10 in the second race. I mean, I know Jason Uribe hurt his hand. I think he's got like 2 or 3 broken bones in his wrists, but still finished to eke out a top 10 or top 11 in the second race. And SDK is showing that, you know, he can put it together. The bike and the team are working well, and they've got a strong package. It's going to be hard to say which manufacturer is really going to be the breakout. You know, I think for now I'll stick with Reese with Yamaha. I think those guys are nobody expects them to be doing much of anything every year. So it's almost like every year they come in as the underdog because Ducati is going to do this and BMW is going to do that and somebody else is going to do that. But at the end of the day, there's 2 Yamahas in the top 4. There's 3 Yamahas in the top 8. And after that, it's a mix of Ducatis, Suzuki's, and BMWs. So I think Yamaha has the most people in that top 6, 7 range right now.
Okay. All
Right.
right.
And you had JD in 4th, you had Matt in 2nd, you had Bobby in 1st. And in race 1, if JD didn't fry his clutch, he would have been probably on the podium.
Yep.
Nice. I'm excited. I'll say this, guys, before we talk about World Superbike a little bit and then get out of here. And we talked a little bit about PJ's crash. Should MotoAmerica have been shown that crash over a few times?
That's their MO, man.
It was
That's
just like
their MO.
knocked out, man. I mean, let's leave that for WWE or any of these other sports. Like, the man's knocked out. Like, why show it over?
That's their MO, man.
Knock them out like fight night.
That's their MO. They just for some reason, I don't know who it is that does their puts together their real packages, and their producer that actually cuts the pieces for like Instagram, Facebook, social media, online, even their own internal commercials.
Mm-hmm.
But they love to, crashes bring attention, man. When you're driving on the highway and you see a crash, everybody's looking. Everybody's looking. Why is there so much traffic? Because everybody's looking.
You fade out before he fades to black, man. Come on. Just fade out before. You don't have to show that part. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. I mean, because at least with MotoGP, they tend to, when rider is out, they tend not to show that in MotoGP these days. Not to say that was always the case, but if a rider is out, like the last couple of years, they don't really show it.
They don't show the after effects. They show the in action footage, the guy flying through the air, hitting the ground, sliding, stuff like that. But then they hard cut.
Right. But if you go watch it, the whole
extended. You watch the extended
version.
Release, and you see the guy all mangled and balled up in the corner.
So yeah,
the guy's running out with the big doctor signs.
They look like a racer. Let's talk about World Superbike, which I'm happy that motorcycle racing is back here and abroad. We talked about ZX Moto last time. We got a lot of people had a lot to say. ZX Moto again looks pretty good out there in that super sport class, and I mean I think he would have got away with it if Messi, German Messi, man, that boy can ride. That was a hell of a finish. What are your thoughts on the super sport class? We know Reese was counting sheep, so what are your thoughts, TJ?
Oh, I mean, the super sport class. I mean, that I didn't really see much of it either, but I mean, the CF Moto, those bikes is pretty much killing the game right now. They're definitely stepping it up and showing that they're a bike to be reckoned with. They're pulling some strings right now.
Right. No doubt. It seems like I'm gonna have to do the Apollo section here when they don't watch the races, Reese. I mean, Lewis. I don't know. We have time to watch all these races, right? That's Lewis on the super sport.
No, I think I've always liked super sport, man. I've always said that it's similar to Moto 2. It's like the most competitive racing for the most part. You can get groups of like up to 7 or 8, so it looks like a Moto 2 or Moto 3 grid sometimes.
Yeah.
And super sport, especially now with the level of talent that's in super sport, it's crazy when you look at the names that are in super sport. It's like X Moto 2, X Moto 2, X Moto this, X Moto that. It's like, man, this is just like this is a killer's row. Like, how these people get on 900s? Like, how these people get on like super sport bikes? It's crazy,
dude. I feel bad for Can on Chew.
Oof.
Because I think he's like, Manzi's gone. All right.
Nah. Here comes all these other like killers, just straight killers, man.
Arenas isn't playing. I'm happy.
Masia.
His first win since 2020.
And that's the thing. Once these guys, especially guys that haven't had a win in a long time, they've been battling, they get that first taste of Prosecco, man, they want more. And they get that bonus check that they haven't seen in like 6 years. They definitely want more of those. I mean, I'm super happy with the mix of bikes too. It's not just one manufacturer running away with it. Like there's R9s in there. There's a little bit of everything. It's not just one thing. It's not Ducati running away with it. It's not Yamaha running away with it. Like the bikes are competitive. The bikes are pretty, for the most part, they seem to be pretty evenly matched. Maybe some have a little bit of a gain here and a loss here, and some of them have a loss here and a gain here. But I mean, this is turning out to be the better of the two championships this year, because World Superbike, outside of this weekend when Ika finally like started stepping up, it's been a little bit of a snooze fest.
Yeah. No, I agree. The super sport class has been really good. The sport bike classes as well. I gotta say it's fun to watch. A little bit more speed than the 300 super sport that they were running. And again, talk about mix of bikes, because you got the Triumph 660s in there, you got the RS 660 in there, the Aprilia, you got the R7s, I believe, and also you got the Suzuki, and I think there's even a Kawasaki in there too, if I'm not mistaken, in the sport bike class. But let's talk about the super bike class before we get out of here. We do have MotoGP coming up this weekend. Ika's getting close, guys. I mean, the rain, he definitely led some laps. And I don't know. Bulaga figured it out and put his head down and got the win. He has 13 wins in a row, to tie Top Rock in the most consecutive amounts of win. Can the other BMWs stop Bulaga? TJ?
Can the other BMW?
The other Ducatis, my bad. I'm tired, man. I'm driving 3-4 days.
I think the closest one is obviously Eagle. I hope that he would pull one out this weekend, but Bulaga's just been too much. I mean, he's had Eagle had his shot where Bulaga sort of dive bombed him, but clean took the lead. So I think it'll be a Ducati for sure. That'll take Bulaga. I just don't know who, but I say Eagle will be probably the first one. I mean, he's right behind him. He's his biggest Bulaga's biggest challenge right now.
Right.
So.
Likewise, Reese. I mean, who's going to stop Bulaga? I mean, when you have a teammate that looks like they're going to be 1 and 2 for the season, I mean, when you're down and you're trying to get your rider to run up front, it's one thing. When you're 1 and 2, what's the speech like?
Just don't take each other out. That's pretty much it. Do what y'all do, but just don't take each other out. Nothing else you can say.
I mean, as a crew member, do you root for who's bringing you coffee in the morning? Who says hello to you more? How do you get as a rider?
You just root for whoever's gonna win. That's it. One or the other. Like, is both on the same team? I'm like, well, we're getting a championship, so good luck.
That's pretty much. But all jokes aside, though, I mean, can anyone else? Any of these other Ducatis? I mean, Batista looks good. The Lowe's brother didn't crash in either one of them, so that's pretty good. All the Ducatis look pretty good. For the most part, I think one race was like top 5 or something like that. Ducatis. I mean, anyone? Is it something you can chip away at? Over the course of the season to get to where you're finishing only a half a second behind them, maybe even less.
You can chip away, just inch every so closer. But I mean, at this point in time, who's really gonna beat Bulaga? I mean, it's like Lewis said, it's sometimes becoming a snooze fest. And I watched the past rounds. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch this one. because we were just slammed, trying to get everything ready. But at this point in time, it's pretty much a Bulaga series. It's his championship to lose.
Well, I disagree. Since I watched this weekend, it looked pretty close. We can't forget about MotoAmerica. It will play a part in the championship. Lewis, the Lowe's brothers didn't crash this weekend. They look pretty good. 1, 2, 3 Ducati. Not the same as last round because we had the BMW in there. Petrucci, he finished in front of Oliveira. I said he had to do something. I think the man heard me. You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts?
This championship is definitely Nicola Bulaga's to lose. Like, so that's a non-starter. I mean, he had a quote this weekend that was pretty telling. He said he misses racing against Top Rack because it's lonely at the front. Right. And it's like, damn, like that's kind of a slap in the face to the 7 guys behind you.
Be careful what you wish for too, right? Because
I know that we've spoken about this before. I know that Iker Lecuona is a talent. The dude can do a lot with a bike. I just think that Nicola Bulaga has got just that one extra thing that Iker doesn't have just yet.
Get more seat time on the Ducati and, running against Top Rack for the last couple of years.
Here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. You've been running with Top Rack. So you're as sharp as you're ever going to be because you two sharpen each other to the point where you guys are the razor blades in the class. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is a sword. You guys are razor blades. Iker now needs to sharpen himself into a razor blade. If he really wants to compete with Nicola, and there's going to be tracks where he's probably going to compete because some of his skills work better there. But dude, when they get to the Italian rounds, you think Nicola is not going to stretch him something awful at the Italian rounds? When they get to some of these other races where Nicola's strengths can really show, he's just going to go back to stretching these guys and then managing the pace from the front, and that's the other thing is right now Nicola is showing a level of mind strength, a level of mental fortitude that's next level. Because when you win this many races in a row, you're so mentally strong. Like you're so tuned into your bike, your tires. You can feel every bolt in the bike vibrating through your butt cheeks.
Yeah, but
you know everything that's going on the bike. You can tell them how tight the valve springs are. Like you're that tuned in with the bike.
I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. You mentioned Top Rack. Iron sharpens iron, or sword sharpens sword. I mean, he could get bored, and
that's the only problem. Is he could get bored, but I think what will happen is the World Superbike will bring in their rule where it either adds weight or brings down the RPM. Mm-hmm. They'll bring in that rule that they have in place to restrict riders that seem to be walking away with the championship. At a certain point, they're going to put that rule into place for him. They're going to either reduce his RPMs, or they're going to do something to slow him down because he can't just keep walking away like this. And they might do it for all the Ducatis because Ducatis in general are kind of running the show right now.
Yeah. I mean, but the Yamaha show. The Yamahas look good. They look good this past weekend. Chavi looked good on that 97. The big motors look good. Gerloff looked good on the Kawi. I mean, even the BMWs are looking good, guys. I mean, you know what I mean? It's close.
I think Gerloff was back in I forgot what somebody said. 10.
Yeah, but you can look good from back there.
You look good.
You can still look good back there.
Yeah.
I mean, just the colors, not crashing, just look good.
Not crashing, passing people, being actively competitive.
I got a question for Lewis though, because somebody asked me this question. It was like, why is there no ZX10s actively competing in MotoAmerica or anywhere besides the one of Garrett? I know the answer. Yeah. I gave an answer, but I was like, I want to hear Lewis's answer.
Says no ZX10 money in the U.S. Like if you look at every manufacturer that's out there, people are racing them because there's some money to either be made or some money to help you go racing. Like Honda is putting a lot of money in right now. If you look at all the Hondas that are in stock 1000 class, Andrew Lee this weekend won on the stock 1000 class, which is races within the superbike classes. Honda is putting out a lot of money for these people to go race. This is why they're doing it. This is why they're out there, because there's an opportunity to race, to get paid, your bills paid for, and probably make some money. But here in the US, Kawasaki Racing is non-existent. There's no money in it. They don't have any contingency support. They don't have any race support. They don't have anything, which is crazy to me because they were the number one selling motorcycle brand last year in the US, but they're investing 0.0 back into street riding. They do a shit ton in the dirt with Supercross and everything else. But when it comes to the street, they invest 0.0, which is crazy when you think about the amount of ZX10s and 636s and everything else that they sell here in the US. Now, how many of those 636s actually make it out of the showroom floor without imploding? That's a different story. But they should just fix that. That's just a shitty bike. But they used to have a ZX9 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember.
They could be racing a ZX9 in Super Sport technically, but they're not. They're not doing anything that shows that they want to actually competitively be in road racing outside of the 300 and the 400, and that's it. There's no replacement for a 636 that could be used in Super Sport. There's no ZX10R that is getting any kind of push in the US to go racing here. And there's a lot of fast guys that will be willing to jump on a Kawasaki if Kawasaki was actually willing to put some money forward, but they're just not.
Right. Yeah. Tough business. Guys, we got MotoGP this coming weekend in Spain. Before we get out of here, what are you hoping to expect as far as the Ducati going to be back on top?
Yep.
Going to run away with it. What are your thoughts? Let's start with TJ. Go around the horn, and also pick your riders for sprint and GPs, so no one gets a DNF.
I'm expecting Ducati to bounce back, to at least show they can, compete a little more with Aprilia. So hoping to see that, and the way Martin is riding, he's competing for a championship right now. So I'm hoping to see that Bez will stay on track and, compete for a title for himself.
Okay.
So hopefully he can continue winning, because I thought about it. I think it'll probably be devastating to see Martin win a championship on Aprilia after the work that Bez put in. So I'm just hoping that he can stay, the number one guy and not see Martin kind of chip away. So hopefully Bez can, be mistake free and hopefully see Ducati bounce back a little bit.
All right, okay, no doubt. So who your three riders for the sprint and three riders for the main race, and they can be one and the same, depends on what you want to do.
So y'all gonna have to come back to me on that one, because y'all always get me to go first. So I gotta think about this for a second. I'll even go second. But, give me a second on that.
All right, you got it, Reese. Lewis, who wants it?
I'll take it. Where are we going? I would say dang.
Right.
Martin, Mark, and
Bez.
Yeah, Bez.
Okay, safe bet there, right there.
And for the race,
is it for both?
I'm going. I'm going for what? Bez, Mark, and I'm going Acosta.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Acosta.
All right.
That's a little bit of a tough one. I predict that this weekend Bezecchi's race win streak will come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that I need to go ahead and I need to pick a winner that's not going to be Bezzecchi for the actual race.
Okay.
And I don't think Bezzecchi is going to win the sprint.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Marquez, Martin, Acosta in the sprint.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Martin, Marquez, and Bezzecchi in the race.
Okay. I like that. That's not bad.
I hate to give Martin credit, but we've seen what he did last time out. Both races, I think he's finally kind of getting over his injuries. And, the Aprilia has shown that it is the bike to beat. It's got that one little step up on the Ducati. I think Ducati will maybe close the gap a little bit this week, but I still think in the short race and in the long race, Bezzecchi will not be in the top step. I think there'll be two different Spaniards at the top step.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. You ready, TJ? You want me to go for you?
Yeah, no, I can pick. So yeah, I was gonna say the sprint. I'll say Mark, Bezzecchi, and Acosta,
Okay.
and then I'll say for so that's the sprint. And for the GP, I gotta say Mark, Bezzecchi, and Martin.
Man. All right. Hey, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go with Martin for both sprint and main race. I'm gonna go with Bez for the main race. Oh man, this is tricky. I'm gonna go with Agura for the main race, and then I need one more for the sprint now.
Yep.
That's tough. I'm gonna go with Digia in the sprint. I'm gonna go with Digia.
Ooh, he is on the street.
Yeah, I'll go with Digia in the sprint. So
Nah, I think I'm not rooting for Digi this weekend. I'm hoping he falls apart this weekend.
as you can see, the scores, guys, not too shabby. I'll at some point I'll have the rules. Who know? I don't know exactly how it works, but
Yeah. There's a gray area,
there's always a gray area, you know. Well, that was the third round. We're working on to the fourth round.
Long as I'm in the middle, then.
But I think I can I show the whole. There we go. Gives us some totals. So not too bad. 171 for me. TJ 144, Reese 157, and Lewis 147. So that'll change.
And I did I miss a round?
Yeah, you did.
So look at that, man. I should be like 200 something points.
Listen, man.
That's what all races say, huh?
Exactly.
You know what, man? That was my weekend of not actively competing.
Yeah. There you go.
I have to put that on a t-shirt, guys.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
All races say that.
I'm not actively competing.
Yeah, man. It's
Can't
wild.
afford no DNFs. Can't afford no DNFs.
No. You might get away with one, but not too many more. It's a long season. So, guys, I want to thank you for coming on. We got TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee. We got Reese from Attack Yamaha. Congrats over the weekend. We got the real Luis Ortega. Glad to see you upright again, man. Peace.
Peace. Take care, everyone.